In this episode of Hope in Motion, we'll visit the remote village of Guba, a major intersection where tribal groups walk several kilometers carrying their produce down to the market in hopes of getting a fair deal. They're met by greedy middlemen who purchase their fruits for 1/3 the selling price of the big towns. Here, Asian Aid stepped in to train the people of the basics of business and taught them a new trade to help survive the off-season. But they quickly came face to face with an even greater crisis when they discovered the horrific way pregnant women are treated in their greatest moment of need.
The one bad tradition is, while the delivery time, no one should help. They'll keep the ladies in one hut, they lock the door. After struggling, if the God helped to that lady, she will give a birth, otherwise she will also die.
India is a land full of contrast. It's a land of great mystery and beauty. It's a land of unspeakable despair. But traveling through India, one thing is for sure. It's a land filled with people who should never be underestimated. For the last 40 years, Asian Aid has invested in the futures of people who have never been given such a chance, and their investment has proven infinite returns. Driven by the vision of Helen Eager, dedicated to helping those who have the least, Asian Aid is an organization implementing diverse development projects and sponsoring thousands of children. Their outreach spans from Bangladesh to Nepal, Sri Lanka, and beyond, from remote villages and empty fields to sprawling centers of education, from nothing to the unimaginable. Now, Asian Aid decided to document the work it has been doing all these years with a desire to show the world what is possible by digging wells in remote villages for clean drinking water and bringing much-needed health care to the women of Nepal, by providing an education for orphans, deaf, and blind children, giving them a sense of place, a home. But what we really discovered was being given was hope, giving hope to children, giving hope to women, giving hope to the ones who need it the most. This is Hope in Motion.
It's a case of survival of the fittest in the tribal village of Guba, a community living in the mountainous regions bordering the states of Andhra Pradesh and Orissa. Their lives exemplify the hardship and suffering endured by millions of people living below the poverty line in India. Asian Aid found out about the plight of these tribal communities and decided to adopt the Jathupu community, working alongside them to help create positive change. This is Raj Varma. He's an Asian Aid field worker, and he's been visiting these villages for the last 2 years in an effort to understand their daily challenges and to find ways to improve their lives.
What is the main problem here for the people? Though they have a good land, there's a water problem. There's no proper water. So completely they have to depend on the rainwater. The people have a good land, but very small piece of land, but they cannot get good yield because they don't know how to cultivate.
The people here live off the land, and they cultivate and grow whatever they can. But during the summer, when the water dries up, it becomes desperately difficult to survive. This forces them to experiment with eating whatever is available in the forest. As a result, many have died from eating poisonous plants, leaving their children behind to fend for themselves. The only other means of getting food is to go into the local fields and work as daily laborers, earning 20 rupees a day, less than 50 US cents. After the seasonal rains end, they take the fruits and vegetables down to the market in hopes of making a fair profit.
So today is the market day. Every Saturday they'll come from the market. They'll bring all their forest products. This is the custard apple season. They'll bring all the custard apples from the hills. Weekly once they'll come down and they'll sell it here. And this is a important place for all the villages. Nearly 20 to 30 villages coming down from the hills. 30 villages are coming down from the hills. Today they bring all their available fruits and the vegetables and also the broomsticks and other stuff. They'll sell it here today. Many people come from that side and many people come from this side and that top of the hills and they'll sell it here. This is the rain, now it's rainy. So rainy season they're struggling a lot. That's the reason the Helping Hand Welfare Society and Asian Aid came forward to construct this shopping complex for the people without any difficulties. So now in the rainy season, in the hot sun, that is a good shelter for these people.
As they began to get to know this community, Asian Aid became acutely aware that lack of education had led these people to be subject to exploitation by greedy middlemen who act as agents for their goods. These agents would buy a basket full of custard apples for 40 rupees and sell them in the towns for 3 times the price, leaving these poor tribal people struggling to survive.
Two years back, we started Jatabo Tribal Development Project, and after that we constructed this small hut to start the business. In that huts, they are doing a very good job, very good business, getting nice profits. Then after that we noticed that they need the actual permanent constructed shops. Then after that we constructed these permanent shops for the women empowerment, to empower the women. Once we empower the woman, the family will develop and children education will develop and the whole village will be developed. So now they're happy. Previously the ladies, they used to depend on the men. Now the ladies are coming out, starting the business, learning things and getting money and supporting to the family and the children education.
Asian Aid has been sponsoring children for more than 40 years, and this has been brilliant. This has got thousands and thousands of children an education and opportunity at a life that has meaning, that gives them employment. But what that does for the one child, when we do our community development projects, can do for a community. We can find a village that has no hope, it's got no economy, people are not literate. But when we can go in there and we can provide clean water, we can provide health, we can provide literacy training, it gives that whole village a sense of hope and opportunity that would never have come otherwise. But once we're able to go and support them, they see hope for the future, and that is community-wide rather than just through the individual.
Kilaga Jyothi is one of 20 students in this community center taking tailoring classes. A mother of 2, Jyothi was overjoyed when she discovered she would get the opportunity to learn tailoring.
If I take my clothes to be made by a tailor, it takes a long time, and it's also very expensive. But if I get this training, I can make my own clothes and earn extra money by taking orders and making clothes for other people. No one forced me to come. I'm here on my own because I know this will create more opportunities for me. This is such a blessing for me. Even at home, everyone is happy that I'm able to get this training. Even people from my village are happy because now they don't have to go so far away to get their clothes made. When my children heard I was learning to stitch my own clothes, they were so proud and happy for me, and they really encouraged me. Now I will completely depend on this tailoring to give my children a better future.
I'm very happy about the training and the organization's activities in this village. I'm so happy. I'm proud that my wife is able to attend this training and learn how to stitch all types of clothes.
My husband was very supportive of me attending this training. He counseled me about so many things. Sometimes when I came home late, he took care of all the household chores. He was very encouraging and cooperative.
Upon graduating, these men and women will get their very own sewing machines as part of Asian Aid's program. Over the past 2 years, as Asian Aid has come to know this community, the challenges realized have grown with each passing day.
The sanitation was very poor in this village. Though we are working since from 2 years, but still we are unable to improve the sanitation here just because of the security problem. In the night time, the people, they'll tie their animals, cows, buffaloes and goats here in the shed. So if we are requesting them to put the animals away from the village, but they are getting scared about the wild animals. Night time, wild animals come down from the mountains and they'll take away from the huts. That's the reason they are keeping their animals close to their house to take care of them in the night time.
But with all of the challenges Asian Aid has begun helping these people with, another issue arose that Raj Varma and his team realized was critical for them to assist with first and foremost.
Home deliveries are more here. And the one bad tradition is, while the delivery time, no one should help. They keep the ladies in one hut, they lock the door. After struggling, if the God help to that lady, she will give birth. Otherwise, she will also die.
Girls, your ride's here. I love you. Have a good day at school. Bye. Bye.
See you tonight. Give my love to Mina.
I will. You can make a big difference every morning.
Sponsor a child with Asian Aid.
Well, I'm here at Sunrise Home with Joshua and these two lovely girls, and every morning their sponsors make a big difference in their lives, providing accommodation, providing clothing, providing food, and shortly they're going to walk down the road to the local Seventh-day Adventist school. And with sponsorship you can make a big difference every morning in the life of a child.
Community development in a tribal region can feel like an impossible task. First, one has to understand the traditions of these communities before they can even attempt to deal with their problems in a manner that doesn't violate their native customs. This is exactly what Raj Varma and his team have been facing with the Tribal Development Project in Jathapu.
Though our health workers are working for the people, they doesn't like to go to hospital for delivery, institutional delivery. Home deliveries are more here. And the one bad tradition is, while the delivery time, no one should help. They keep the ladies in one hut, they lock the door. After struggling, if the God help to that lady, she will give birth. otherwise she will also die. After she gives the birth, she has to clean the baby, she has to cut everything, she has to clean the baby until 1 month, 1 week. The lady has to take care of the baby. After 1 week, these neighbors, ladies will enter into the house and they'll help to the child. Up to until that, she has to struggle with the baby. That's a bad tradition, it's not going up. But these health volunteers are not allowing to do that. Immediately when they are in a 8th month or delivery time, they are forcibly taken to the government hospital for birth.
Now when the women are close to delivering, I take them to the hospital, and then once they return home, I give them the medicines they were prescribed.
Nandini and 2 other health volunteers have been trained by Asian Aid and are stationed here to spread awareness among the people. Taking the women to the hospital before they give birth has greatly increased the survival rates of both mother and baby. But the battle for survival doesn't end there.
Most of the children have a malnutrition. They're suffering a lot with the malnutrition, big stomachs and the thin leg, thin hands, no proper clothes. So most of the children are getting skin diseases and typhoid and malaria. So these children, also the death rate is more here in these tribal villages, though we are supporting for health, but still the death rate is more.
There's not much to eat around here. There's not enough rain. Even if it rains, it's just little drops.
Such is the food situation here. People eat anything to fill their stomach, often leading to food poisoning and death. Nandini points out some of the things people eat around here. Pulp from a local tree trunk.
I joined as a health worker to help the people in my village. The hospital is very far away, so I want to help the people of my village when they're sick. I'm very happy to help the people, happy to supply them with medicine whenever someone is sick.
In addition to providing medical supplies to the sick, the health workers also meet with the women of the village to teach them health and sanitation awareness. Today is the inauguration of the shopping complex in Penn, Guba, and a local government official has come to show his support alongside Raj Varma. This permanent structure establishes a legitimate marketplace for the students of Asian Aid's tribal development projects to put into practice their new skills. This is a symbol of Asian Aid's commitment to developing communities and serving the least of these.
Our life is much better than it was before. Previously, we used to struggle for everything. Now we're happy doing this small business and receiving a good profit. With this profit, we're able to educate our children and we don't have to worry as much.
Jyothi was one of 20 people who took advantage of the business training and tailoring program. She is already reaping its benefits.
Before, we used to do hard labor for a meager income. Now that we have this business training, our income is much better and we can buy tamarinds and custard apples. I used to work in the fields and in the hills from morning to evening for just 10 or 20 rupees a day. Now our daily wages have increased and our living conditions are better. We're buying and selling and getting a fair profit.
Well, as you know, Asian Aid is very heavily involved in education and sponsorship, but another key part of what it does is development projects, and the difference between development projects and sponsoring a child is that we are developing villages and people to be more self-sufficient, and so teaching them trades, teaching them how to run a business, improves their family life and quite often leads to a child going to school. So in some way it is linked. But Asian Aid has a strong commitment to development. The Village Tribal Project is one of those development projects that Asian Aid has had reasonable success with.
I think it's a tremendous blessing to be able to provide work and opportunities for women, especially to involve their creativity and to be able to give them some income and a bit of confidence, because it's very difficult for people in many areas to get work.
The growing seasons last only a couple months here, so the tailoring program has given Jyothi's family an alternative source of income, which they can rely on year-round.
We only get work during the rainy season. Even our shop business is seasonal. So when I heard about the tailoring training, I was very interested to take this class because tailoring work can be done year-round. I can work at any time and earn money, making 100 to 200 rupees a day, whereas before I would only get 10 to 20 rupees.
Their 2-year-long effort to bring change in the Jathipu tribal community has finally begun to bear fruit. That 100 to 200 rupee increase gives Jyothi the confidence that she will send her 2 children to college.
She's definitely come up in life, and her training will really help our family and my children's education.
My parents didn't know the value of education. Back in those days, there were no schools in this area, so we somehow struggled and managed in these villages. But we're expecting our children to come up in life. That's why we are working so hard to support their education. We want to see their bright future. We want to see them settle in cities and have good jobs. It's our desire to educate our children.
Hi, I'm Sean Boonstra, and I'm really excited to be an honorary ambassador for Asian Aid. Today, there are a lot of children in need of individuals who will step forward and provide them with the opportunity to receive an education. Asian Aid sponsors over 8,000 children in Adventist schools in India, Nepal, and Bangladesh. You can not only give them an education, but you can also introduce these children to Jesus. Why don't you join my family in sponsoring a child through Asian Aid and making a huge difference in their lives with sponsorship?